What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel and you're watching Demko AD, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear. Here today, I'm super excited for doing this unboxing with you guys, sharing this experience with you all. You may already have an idea from the title and thumbnail about what is in here, but honestly, I am super excited. I'm like a kid in Christmas morning, excited to, open this box and just really start EDCing the crap out of this knife. I'll say this is the version of this knife that I really intended to buy from the get-go. Now, of course, it was a little bit more pricey, so it took me some time to get to the point where I could actually afford it, but I'll tell you a little bit more about it here in just a moment. Excited that I just got this fresh off of the mailbox. Supposed to get this delivered on a Friday. I live here in Tampa, and the USPS system, our wonderful postal service, decided that it would be a great idea to send this knife on a field trip to Miami for no reason whatsoever, to then come back to Tampa to eventually get delivered to me. But that aside, this box is coming from Demko Knives, and they did send this knife to me in exchange for my money. So yes, I did buy this one with my own money. Of course, it is a knife that I've been looking forward to for quite some time, so it is only fair that the honors today are done by this wonderful EDC knife right here, the Demko Shark Cub, aluminum handles with 20 CV. It is only fitting that this is the knife that does the unboxing. Guys, so there'll be links for this knife and any other knife that you see in this video down below, so if you want to learn more or check these out, it does help out the channel when you use those links and when you purchase a knife, but that is entirely up to you. That being said, let's go ahead and get into it here, shall we? Without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and make it cut somewhere. They really seal this thing pretty good. So let's go ahead and slice right here. This one's rocking the slicer blade. And bam, bam, got some cuts right there. There's one that right down the middle here. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Boom, and here we are. Again, that was the Slicer Shark Cub. This knife came out 2023. Check it out. I have an unboxing video on this knife and a review video on this knife coming up as well. But let's take a look. Again, I'm super excited for this. You guys may already know what's in here. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's get the fillers out of the way. Bam, here is the box. You guys already know it is another Shark's Luck knife, of course. Here we are. Yes, we have another Shark's Luck knife. I can never get enough of the Shark's Luck. Really can't ever get enough. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready. All right, I'm gonna give you all a little sneak peek right here. Bam. AD20.5 20 CV texture titanium with the Shark's Luck. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing open. Super excited. Of course, these are always a little tricky to open up. Let me get my man hands on. I mean, they put some super glue on this thing or something. All right, you gotta get a workout in. So I'm trying to do it in front of the camera, but I had to bring it up to my chest in order to apply the right amount of force. Got this plastic box here from Demko. And bam, here it is, you guys. Here it is. Let's make some room here because this deserves all the attention. I want the camera to focus really good. Of course, you do get a lefty pocket clip with the Demko knives. So it is a very ambidextrous locking mechanism and you can switch it if you're a lefty. All right, let's see. Got all the attention here for this bad mama jama right here. The Demko AD20.5 with the titanium scales. Here we go. Bam. Take a look. Holy moly. Already in the hands, I can feel the difference with that texture titanium. That mill pattern feels really good in the hand. And man, oh man, is it a good experience. And of course, this is not my first Demko knife by any stretch of the imagination, but this was how I intended to get my AD20.5 from the very beginning. And I gotta tell you, let me get a little up close here. Check out the diamond titanium pattern right here on those handles right there. That looks really good. Has the same Wampin PA pivot color or pivot screw going on there as in the Shark Cub. Of course, that was a little bit different on the Gribery Scales G10. This was my OG, right? A little bit of a difference there, but holy smokes. Okay, of course, let me go ahead and get it open here for you guys. Bam. Yes. And honestly, it feels a little lighter than I thought. Let me get a feel for it. I want to say perhaps the Gribery one still feels a little bit heavier than this one. It is very, very light. We'll do a quick weight comparison here in a moment. But of course, I had to get the Shark's Foot blade. That is my favorite. Very, very utilitarian blade here. Very good for everyday tasks. Sheep's foot, right? In this case, my bad. The Shark's Foot blade, right? That is what Demko calls it. It is a very good blade for EDC task. Of course, you got the 20 CV steel going on here, which is certainly an upgrade from the AUS 10A, from the original one here that I got last year. Random guy passing by, random car, making a lot of noise. So we'll pause right here. And of course, anytime I turn the camera on, that's when all the lawnmowers in the neighborhood decide to show up. So hopefully now that noise is coming through the microphone. Let's see, where were we? All right, check it out. So yeah, things that I'm noticing already, of course, a little bit heavier on the Gribery and a little bit lighter on the titanium, which I would think they'll be about the same, if not a little bit heavier here. Gribery itself is not that heavy, but this one does have stainless steel liners inside, whereas on the titanium version of the Demko AD20.5 you have solid scales. There is no milling going on the inside. There's also no liners going on the inside as well. This is solid titanium on both sides. Looks really, really good. Something else that I'm noticing too is you don't get the backspacer filler here that you get on the Gribery one. Instead, you get 3 standoffs with, you know, correspond with 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3 different screws on the body there. Right, that makes sense. And yeah, just a wonderful ergonomics, you know, same utility as always, of course. Yeah, let's do some size comparisons here. Obviously, those two are gonna be the same size, clearly, right? Here's the Shark Cub right there. Obviously, that's a smaller brother, and this one is a little bit more slimmer as well, right? But man, oh man, right off the bat, the upgraded materials on this thing feel really, really good, worth the money. One of arguably my favorite knife of all times, my favorite EDC knife of all times from day one. I started my EDC journey around July or August of 2022, and I started this channel January of 2023. And honestly, this was one that I've been looking forward to, a grail of mine for a long, long time. And it's finally here, Now, of course, I have reviewed this knife before in the channel, so I'm not entirely sure that I will be doing a full review later on, but I did want to share with you guys the unboxing experience on this bad boy, because man, this is such a milestone, so exciting for me to have finally acquired this bad boy. I was so tempted, so tempted to pick up the the clip point version as well. And of course, I do have that clip point version on the Gribery also, right? Check it out right there. Same size, the clip point, and it's gonna be a little bit longer. And I was just so close of picking up the clip point in the smooth titanium, just so I had both options. But, you know, I'm not YouTube famous yet, right? We haven't gotten to that point yet. So, you know, you gotta take the small wins here and there. Maybe at some point in the future, I'll get the clip point 20 CV with the smooth titanium. But for now, this is one that I definitely had to get, right? This is something that I've been wanting to do for a long, long time. I'll probably be upgrading the clip there to a Lynch Northwest deep pocket carry clip to just complete the looks. But man, oh man, this thing is wonderful. Of course, you already know how the Demko AD20 works, and in case this is your first time, I have reviewed, unboxed this knife. I use it as one of my size comparison knives. It's rocking the Shark's lock from Demko. It works with the spine back here, so you basically pull on that tab and you're able to manipulate a blade with such ease, right? And also, it is one of the strongest locking mechanisms you can have on a knife, period. Said to rival the tryout lock, and I didn't say that. Andrew Demko, the maker, said that himself. So very solid through and through, all around knife. As far as deployment options, of course, you could use a tab, you could use a thumb deployment, reverse flick, boom, all day, every day. Probably my favorite way to deploy this guy. You got a little pill shape opening too, so you could open it with that. You could do a slow thumb opening, and the sound this thing makes is just... All right, let me do a little acoustic check here. So this is the titanium version, right? Listen to the acoustics. All right, let's check out the Grivery. I'm gonna use the one with the same blade and everything. Yeah, for whatever reason, it's louder on the Grivery one because probably the stainless steel liners. And back to the titanium. Yeah, a little bit difference in sound there. You guys be the judge. Let's do a couple more comparisons here, just for those of you that have other kinds of knives, as we typically do here. The PM2 right there is going to be a little bit longer. The Para 3 is going to be definitely comparable right there. So the Demko AD20.5, in case you don't know, is already a shorter version of the Demko AD20. Now the Demko AD20 is a slightly larger knife made in the US, somewhere in the $400 to $500 to $600. Obviously a much bigger, longer, thicker knife overall, made in the United States. The AD20.5 is a smaller version of that knife, in my opinion, arguably a more EDC friendly size if you ask me, so I'll take that any day of the week. And this one is made in Taiwan, so not China, right, but Taiwan. Well, there's a difference between knives made in China, which, by the way, China is making great knives. I just been checking out a Kunwu knife, which I'll show you in a second, has a similar diamond pattern, and this one is a wonderful EDC knife. So Chinese knives are not everything that people think. They are cheap this, cheap that. If you go with a reputable manufacturer, you'll get a good piece of an EDC tool. And this one's made in Taiwan, which also has great quality. Their knives are really, really good. My Spyderco Smock is also made in Taiwan, so they do really good quality work there as well. And they upgraded the steel all the way to 20 CV. At some point, these were knife center exclusives with 3V, very tough steel and everything, but recently they upgraded it. Not upgraded it, but I would say they just decided to go with 20 CV instead, which of course has its own perks, right? Its own features and whatnot. So I'm not a metallurgist by any stretch of the imagination, so let me disclose that. But I love 20 CV. It's really good for EDC premium steel that I know is going to get work done and perform really well. Let's go ahead and do a few more comparisons here. We have the, of course, Wrap Model 1. We have the Wrap Model 2. So this is more Wrap Model 2 territory here. Right, absolutely. Again, it's not going to be a long knife. If you really want a big knife, you get the USA made Demko AD20, right? That's a larger board. This one is, you know, in the medium category, perfect for EDC, not too heavy in the pocket, not extra thick or anything like that. Check it out here next to the Vosteed Raccoon and the very popular CJRB Pyrite Alt. All of these are very popular knives. The Raccoon there with the crossbar lock, the Pyrite Alt with the button lock, and the AD20.5 there with the Shark lock. Amazing. Highly recommendable knives. Really can't recommend them enough. And I want to toss one last one in here. It's a shame this knife didn't get here on time because, again, this thing went on a field trip to Miami to spend the weekend going back and forth through our wonderful postal service for some reason. Well, obviously, clearly somebody messed up, but I just had the chat in here. It would have been nice to also have the chat to compare it to. Let me show you some. So this is something that I've been wondering the entire time. Another company that's doing a really good job with their diamond texture is Kunwu, and this one is the Kunwu the Django. Not the Django, but Django. Gotta keep remembering that the D is silent in that word. Django, right? This one, just like the chat, which I also recently unboxed and I have a review coming up, has a very, very nice diamond pattern. Here it goes up and down, whereas in the Demko AD20.5, it goes side to side. Get a feel for it, honestly. It feels really, really good on both. I want to say, if anything, in the Demkos, the diamonds themselves are just a tad bit skinnier, right? Narrower diamonds, a little bit more stretched out. They're ever so, by a hair, ever so slightly thicker on the Kunwu's diamond pattern. But man, oh man, have I become a sucker for these diamond patterns. Especially, well, titanium, first of all. Love titanium on my knives, and honestly, my taste in knives since I started has been sort of increasing as expected. And if you're in your EDC journey, you can probably relate as well. But this diamond texture titanium here, it is my cup of tea. If I were to take one design and one design only on a handle, I first of all love monochrome aesthetics to a knife. My blacks, grays, and such love exposed bead blasted titanium or plain titanium, but something like this diamond pattern right here, it does the job for me, and it feels really, really good. You no longer have, by the way, this AD portion that you get in the budget version. They do away with that. Is it gonna probably fray your pants a little bit? That is to be determined, honestly, because I've been carrying this guy a lot and I really haven't had any issues with that. Long term, we'll see. But man, oh man, does that look so much cleaner, right? Not having that AD20.5 right there stuck on the gravity scale. That looks so much better. Of course, the pivot screw right there looks so much better instead of being 3D printed on the scale. That looks so good. And yeah, diamond patterns for me on a titanium scale, man oh man, am I a huge fan of that. So also you have a stone wash going on here on the 20 CV, right? Gotta love a nice good old stone wash going on there. Of course, this thing is probably gonna be extremely sharp. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And you know for a fact, the moment this video is over, this thing is gonna be in my pocket and it's not gonna leave my pocket for quite some time to come. So I'm excited for this. Do we need to do a paper cutting test? We'll just do one for the heck of it. We already know the Demko AD20.5 can cut. And this one is just out of the box. You saw it come out of the box straight from Demko. And let me get my forward grip here. By the way, ergonomically speaking, this thing is great. Some people don't like knives that lock your finger in place. Me personally, I don't mind that at all. And I find that the ergos on the Demko AD20.5 are just what the chef ordered. Chef's kiss right there.
Nice.
And got a good jimping going on the spine of the blade here, right, to really bear down on it. Again, you know that shark's lock is super strong. That thing is not going anywhere unless you disengage it. And you can forward choke if you wanted to, right? You can get a forward position here and push back, and you get really close to the blade. Just want to be mindful of what you're doing, but you can absolutely forward choke on this thing. The lawnmower people got the leaf blower going on now, so hopefully, again, that doesn't come through the video. Here we go. All right, if you guys are ready, I'm ready. All right, check out those swirls right there. Bam, right? Here we go. Boom, bam. Yeah, that 20 CV blade is going to cut all the way through. Bam, boom. For EDC tasks, this blade shape, this shark's foot blade is going to get all the cutting that you need. This thing is wonderful. I really enjoyed it on my Gravity version, and I'm just excited to finally have it in the titanium version. Of course, we're also going to do some cardboard. We got some everyday cardboard here. Remember, when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular, but rather at an angle like that. And here we go. Yeah, that thing is going to annihilate the cardboard. You guys rate it in the comments. How sharp are these out of the box? Rate it on a scale from 1 through 10. One last one here for fair measure. Boom. That is one clean cut. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a nice little wipe right here, since I am going to be using this knife. Doesn't need to be all oiled up. They put just the right amount of oil to preserve the blade. It's not one of these knives that comes in soaked in a bath of oil, which is appreciated. But yeah, check out that stone washed 20 CV right there. It looks really nice. Hopefully the video, I'm not sure if the video is doing it justice, you guys, but man oh man, does this titanium look really nice. The Demko AD20.5 never looked better in my opinion, as it does here. This is the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme right here. Bam. Now I do have an announcement, right? So now that I have obviously a titanium shark's foot and I'm not a popular YouTube channel, that means that I need to move some knives around. I can't afford to pick up this guy and just keep it in my fleet and not move some knives around. So I do have to, how JD for EDC would say, I have to thin out the herd a little bit here. I have to thin out the herd, and that means that I am very likely going to be selling my shark's foot Avery AD20.5, this one here. So I'm still going to be keeping the clip point, right? I want to be able to differentiate in future videos, you know, the clip point versus the shark's foot. Also going to be keeping the Shark Cub for now. I love this thing. It's super slicey, very carable on that small form factor. But you know, I have two shark's foot variants here. Obviously, I'm going to be keeping the titanium one. That was my desired configuration from day one, and that means that I'm probably going to be selling this one here, right? We know what these go for, full price. Now, I haven't really used this one a whole lot. It's not like a knife that I use on a daily basis to beat up cardboard or anything like that. I'm mostly a knife design and knife aesthetics reviewer, if anything. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I haven't cut with this knife. I sure have. Most of the cutting that I've done with this knife, I'll be honest with you, has been here on camera. So I've cut some paper, I've cut some cardboard with it, but it hasn't been anything crazy. I have never sharpened this blade either, so all the meat is there, right? I've never even, this thing hasn't even come close to touching a sharpening stone or anything like that. And so from that standpoint, you know, I'll probably say this thing has probably cut paper like maybe 10-15 times. Cardboard, this thing's probably cut some cardboard like maybe 15 times or so. And that's passes, right? Pass-throughs. So, you know, very light use, very light use. So if you're interested on picking up a Demko AD20.5, this is a knife that you've been looking forward to. Obviously, I'm going to be selling it at a slight discount, right? So hit me up. I'm going to be putting my email right here in case you guys want to go ahead and send me an email. You're more than welcome to, or you can just IM me on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram here. If you aren't already following me on Instagram, this will be a great time to do so. I post really early videos on Instagram that, you know, of knives that I haven't really gotten a chance to fully edit to post here on YouTube. So definitely worth a shot for, you know, following me over there. And if you're interested in picking up this guy at a slight discount, you really can't go wrong with the shark's foot blade. The shark's lock mechanism is amazing, and I don't just say that myself. You can literally look at any review, mine or any other one here on YouTube, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So this guy, again, probably gonna be for sale. It really depends, so hit me up if you're interested. And that is it, guys, as far as the unboxing for what I believe is the ultimate version here of the Demko AD20.5. Really been looking forward to this one for a long time. It feels as nice and solid and premium as it ever has. And this one is quite a pretty penny. This one, I believe, I actually got a chance to pick this one up during the Demko sales event in December. Knives were highly discounted, so I picked this one up for $350. Whereas it usually goes for around $390, and that's before tax. So shipping is free, but they do charge taxes, so that's something to factor in as well. Again, this knife and all knives that you see in this video will be linked down below. If you guys want to learn more, definitely check those affiliate links out. When you purchase a knife, it does help out the channel, but that is entirely up to you. If you guys made it to the end, you guys are the real MVPs. Thank you so much for checking out this video. By the way, chances are the unboxing for the Kumwu Django is up in the channel here, ready to go. So if you want to check that one out next. This one also has a wonderful diamond titanium handles going on with this nice drop point, clip point blade right here. So check it out. If you aren't subscribed, this will be a great time to subscribe. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Help out this video reach a larger audience. If you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link down there in the description, or you can simply become a member here on YouTube and you'll get access to exclusive perks. Thank you guys so much for all your love and support. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.